Hi, Bankside Chefers. The group is approaching 1 year old, and to celebrate, I thought I would knock up a meal that I've prepared many times on the bank. Is a roast dinner. It's Sunday. It's a beautiful day today, so I've got to be outside cooking. As much as I would love to be doing this from the bank, unfortunately, in this crazy lockdown world we live in at the moment, that isn't possible. So yeah, 1 year old. Honestly, can't believe that in just 1 year we've managed to get to nearly 8,000 members, which is just amazing. The content you guys supply is brilliant. Taking so much inspiration from you guys. Hope to be able to give a little bit back myself. So everything I'm going to do today, I'm going to take you through what fuel to use, good fire lighters, how to set your cob up, how to prep your veg, how to cook your meat. So yeah, let's crack on. So when you're setting your cob up for a longer cook, you really want to use, you don't really want to use, I like heat beads. I think they last really long. They take a while to catch. People do complain about that, but honestly, if you follow my instructions, I've never had a problem. So, fire lighters. These little twisted things are made out of wood shavings covered in wax. They're fantastic. Most importantly, there's no chemicals. You won't taint any food. This is really quite a compact unit. I won't put paraffin lighters or anything in mine because I can just taste it straight away. So when we stack our basket, we put our heat beads standing upright, and then I put 3 of the wall lighters underneath. That's it, we're ready to go then. What we're also going to use during this cook is the wire rack and the heat diffuser plate. This is the basic Premier barbecue set. So if you have this, you're set. You can do a roast dinner. So now we've got our cob prepped, we can go through the other essentials we're going to need. Gas burner. I use a mess tin purely because you can pack down 2, nice and simple, light as anything. Sharp knife, and of course your Bankside Chef chopping board. Shouldn't be seen without one of these. And then lastly, just a pair of tongs to use on the cob. So for our ingredients list then, nice bit of beef, just a small roasting joint. This is just for one for me. This would easily feed 2. Obviously I'm not going to cook that much veg. A couple of spuds, roasties, parsnip and some French beans. Also a little pot of gravy. I find these brilliant on the bank, easy, a little bit of hot water, it's done. Yeah, so let's get into it and start cooking. So we've got our cob lit. While we're waiting for the coals to come up to temperature, we're just going to prep our meat. Really simple. Salt and pepper, that's all I do. Just keep it, it's nice beef, we'll let it speak for itself. And then, yeah, so once we've salt and peppered up our piece of meat, we can just set that to one side. Then gives us the job of prepping our vegetables. I'm not going to teach you how to suck eggs and teach you how to prep vegetables. You know how to peel a potato, you know how to sort and pass that out, I'm sure you do. So we'll get that done, and then when we're ready, we'll come back. So now our coals are more or less there. They're another 5 minutes and they'll be there. So I'm going to utilise that 5 minutes by starting to warm the oven up. So if we pop on our grill diffuser plate and then our grilling rack, line your holes up, finally pop your lid on. We're going to leave that a few minutes just to get up to temperature, and then we're ready to plonk our meat on. So update so far, where we're at. Oven's more or less ready to go on. Meat's been salted, peppered, veg has been prepped. I've put some water in there just purely to stop the parsnips and the potatoes going brown. I'm not going to do anything with them just yet. There's no huge rush. So when we're ready to plonk the meat on, we'll go from there. So the cob's been heating up for about 5 minutes now. It's ready to cook on. So all we're going to do is we just take the lid off, take my tongs, pop the lid off, and I'm just going to plonk that right in the centre there. And that is it. That's all I'm going to do for half an hour. Actually, that's a lie, because what I'm going to do in that half an hour is have a beer. That is the perfect time. You're on the bank, you're relaxing, it's a Sunday afternoon, crack a beer. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned yet, usually I use a digital thermometer when I'm cooking with this. I decided I'm not going to do that for this video because I wanted to show you how to make a meal on the cob with bare minimal. All you need to do is purchase the cob. Now the thermometers, obviously, it's brilliant. They're brilliant. You know what temperature your cob is. I use a 2 probe, so I know what temperature my cob is, and I also know what temperature my meat is. Now, if I'm cooking chicken, if I was going to do chicken now, I would 100% be using the thermometer probe just for food safety. Obviously, beef, you know, we could probably take that a little under, and it will be fine. I know mine won't be under today. I actually like it a little bit over when I do roast beef. That's personal preference. I know not everyone does. So that's the reason I'm not using a digital thermometer. But I would encourage, if you are going to buy a cob and use it regularly, £30. My one links up with my phone. I can sit in my bivvy and monitor what's going on with the food outside without having to move. And let's be honest, carp anglers, we're a lazy bunch. If we rely on a bite alarm to tell us when we've got to run, we're going to sit there looking at our phone telling us when our food's ready. So our beef's been cooking away for about half an hour. Very important, don't keep opening the lid. As soon as you open this, all your heat goes, you're losing all your oven effect. Don't be tempted, just keep the lid shut, keep it rolling. So half hour's passed, we're going to start prepping our root veg. So on our gas burner in our mess tin, short bit of water, put your veg in there. Always salt your water with veg, very important. So all we're going to do is we're just going to bring that up to the boil for 2-3 minutes, drain the water off, and then we're ready to add a little bit more salt, pepper. I'm going to spray a little bit of oil on the veg, and we're going to put it on the cob. So we've brought our veg up to the boil, let it boil for 2 or 3 minutes. That's all you need to do. It's just a quick parboil just to start the cooking process. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of our spray oil. We're going to spray a little bit of the veg. Then some salt and pepper. Now, what I like to do, give the pan a bit of a shake. Get the edges of the potatoes roughed up a little bit. That's how you get your nice little crispy bits on your potatoes. So it's been half hour since our beef's been on. A little over because we've just boiled the veg as well. We've not looked at it yet, so it's time to have a look. That's coming along really well. I know it's awkward for the camera. Ooh. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my potatoes on first. The parsnips ain't going to take that long. We don't want burnt parsnips. We want them to taste nice and sweet, not bitter and horrible. So we'll pop our potatoes directly onto the grill. Pop our lid back on. I'm going to leave that for another half hour before I even think about taking the lid off. I know it'll be okay. Doesn't appear to be too hot at the moment. If the beef was getting overcooked, I'd be tempted to just slightly crack the lid. Just help release a little bit more of that heat. Just a few of the tips you can do. What you can also do, if you're getting far too hot, you can take a little bit of tin foil and your air holes in the top of the cob, just plug 1 or 2 of them off. And what that do is, that will stop the amount of airflow going through it, which will slow down the burning of the coals, which will reduce your heat. It's no brainer really. So there's a few little tricks you can do. I'm happy with my heat at the moment, so I'm just going to leave it rolling. So our meat's been in for a little over an hour. I'm happy with how my meat's cooked. So I'm going to take it out. I don't want to overcook it. I don't want to ruin it. It wasn't an expensive bit of meat, but still, we don't want to ruin it. So what I'm going to do is take my meat off the cob, get a little bit of tin foil, and then completely wrap her up. Then I'm going to take a tea towel. If I was on the bank, I'd probably use one of my quarter towels, not to name drop. And then we're going to wrap that meat up in our tea towel. And we're just going to leave that to rest. Now that will maintain its heat. The juices suck back into the meat. It'll just be better. You never want to take meat directly out of heat and serve it straight away, because the muscles all clench up. We want it to relax a little bit. Makes good for good meat. So our meat's off, wrapped up. We're going to leave that to rest. Just going to have a check and see how our roasties are doing. They're not doing too bad. I think half hour or so they're going to be done. Just give them a little turn. I'm still not going to put my parsnip on yet, because that's going to cook really quickly. I don't want to burn it. It will turn bitter. We just don't want that. So our meat's resting, our spuds are cooking. Now we're ready to sort out our green veg. Now I'm using string beans, French beans, whatever you want to call them. Literally all I'm going to do is take my sharp knife. I'm going to cut the tips off. I'm going to pop them in my mess tin, and I'm going to cover them with water. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use quite a lot of water in my green beans. I'm not going to use any salt. There's a reason for that. When our green beans are cooked, I'm going to use the water to make our gravy. Now if I was to put salt in here, that's going to make, these are salty anyway, the nature of them, they're salty. It's just going to make it, it's not going to taste good. So a decent amount of water in there, no salt, that can just sit ready, waiting for when our root veg is cooked and we're ready to start serving. So it's been about 20 minutes since we took our beef off, wrapped it up to rest. We're going to check on our potatoes now. I think they're going to be getting close. Oh yeah, so looking at them, they're coming along really nice. So I think it's time to add the parsnips now. So we'll pop our parsnips on the grill. Make sure they don't fall through, they have a habit of doing that. Pop the lid back on, 20 minutes, we'll check again. Right, so our parsnips are virtually cooked. Another 5 minutes, they're going to be there. So we're nearly there. All we've got to do now, cook our green beans. So we'll get them going. While that's coming up to the boil, we can carve our beef. Hopefully nice and rested. Like I say, I like mine a little over. It's personal preference. I'm not going to tell you what's best. You cook how you want to cook. Now, get that out of the way. So all them juices trapped in the foil, some's been sucked back into the meat. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to pour that into my gravy. Take my sharp knife. Cut your elastic, get that out of the way. Can't tell you the amount of times I've forgotten to do that. Started chewing on an elastic band halfway through my dinner. Not ideal. Get yourself some nice slices. We're talking a little little over an hour and a half since I lit the cob, with pretty basic ingredients. If you was to do this on the bank side, which easily done, this is a bang up bank side meal. So I'm going to carve my slices up. I'm going to wait for my green beans to come up to the boil, and then you'll join me again when we're ready to plate everything up. Right, well, the beans are cooked, the root veg is ready, my meat is carved up. I put it back in its juices just so it can soak up all that goodness. We're more or less ready to plate up. So, what I'm going to do, get me cob off, get this. Now, we're going to take these French beans, use our tongs, try and shake off as much water. You don't want a plate full of water, but we're going to use this water again. And that's what we're going to make our gravy with. So we just fish all of them out of there, excuse the pun. Pop that back on the heat. Get our gravy pod, capsule, whatever you want to call it, gel. Oh, there she goes. Give her a quick stir. We'll let her do her thing for a minute. In the meantime, get our meat. Just get that all plated up. Look at that, I like a nice big portion. Big lad. Get our root veg. These cobs are just, they're amazing. They open up so much opportunity for, you can be as lazy or as put as much effort in as you like. Obviously today we put a little bit of effort in. We've used pretty minimal ingredients. Probably the most expensive thing was the beef. I think that was about £6. The veg, pennies really. But I mean honestly, you can just a ready-made pizza straight on here, 20 minutes, perfect. They were made for fishing. So we're just going to wait for our gravy to come up to temp. And while I'm waiting for that to finish, I just want to say thank you. You've all contributed, you've all made the group what it is. It isn't just us or the admin, you know. Some guys, some of the stuff, the posts that come in there, they just astound me. Every weekend I see stuff come through, especially during this whole lockdown. Everyone's really sort of pulled together, and there's just been some amazing posts come on the group, and what I can say is keep it coming. We're 1 year old. Monday the 27th, I believe it is, I might have my dates wrong, but we celebrate our 1 year anniversary, and 7,500, nearly 8,000 members. We can just, where are we going to be in a year's time? So I just want to finish this video by saying thank you.